Unbelievable. Toronto organizer Carl Hale made an emotional gesture toward Alex Ela that left thousands of fans in tears and proved that some moments matter far more than winning or losing. A tournament director who had seen almost everything in tennis was so moved by the 21-year-old Filipina that he called her an absolute blessing to the sport. Nobody expected the story to end this way. What could have simply been remembered as a straight sets defeat instead became the backdrop for one of the most heartfelt tributes in tennis. And the tears that followed weren't just about the result, they were about something much bigger. The words came from a man who had witnessed generations of tennis history. Carl Hale, the tournament director of the National Bank Open, had spent years running one of the sport's most prestigious tournaments. He had watched legends rise and fall, witnessed historic matches, dramatic upsets, and unforgettable moments, but he said he had never seen anything quite like Alex Ela. Speaking to reporters in early August 2026, Hale said, "This is sensational. It's great to have the Filipino community out in droves here. Alex is an absolute blessing to the sport of tennis and our tournament." Those words carried a weight far beyond ordinary praise. Hale wasn't simply complimenting a young player, he was acknowledging a phenomenon, a movement, and a transformation that had turned the tournament into something the tennis world had never seen before. "We've never seen a player ranked outside the top 5 have this type of effect," Hale told CBC News. "I think her fans were specifically waiting to see when she played, and those fans had been waiting for months." According to Hale, the Filipino community in the Greater Toronto area, more than 270,000 strong, had been contacting tournament officials for months before Ela even arrived. They weren't calling days or weeks in advance. They had been waiting for months, asking the same questions. When does she play? Who will she face? Where will the match be held? Hale even recalled one surprising conversation, saying, "My mother's sister's brother's cousin knows her," describing the excitement and personal connections within the community. They were so excited to have her. Then, when Ela's schedule was finally confirmed, the response was immediate. The phones exploded, tickets disappeared in just 30 minutes, and all 10,077 seats at SoBi Stadium were sold out almost instantly. The Wednesday night session, an early round match that rarely reaches full capacity, suddenly became the hottest ticket of the entire tournament. "We told them when we make the draw, we're going to announce her start time," Hale explained. And the phones rang. Tickets sold, and boom, it was sold out on Wednesday night just like that. Hale also revealed that tournament officials estimated roughly 80% of the ticket demand was connected specifically to Ela's appearance, not the tournament itself, not the other top-ranked stars, but one player. However, the gesture that touched fans most deeply wasn't about ticket sales at all. It was about food. In an unprecedented move, the tournament added Filipino adobo chicken to the food court menu for the first time in its history, a small but powerful gesture that showed just how deeply Ela's presence had impacted the event. As Hale put it, "It's the first time I've ever heard of a tournament halfway through the tournament add a food offering just because of a player." Hale told Tennis Channel, "The adobo wasn't just a meal. It was a symbol, a recognition that the Filipino community had transformed this tournament. It was a gesture that said, 'We see you. We appreciate you. You belong here.'" And that gesture left thousands of fans emotional because, for a community that had often felt invisible in the world of tennis, this was about far more than food. It was validation. It was representation. It was a feeling of home. Carl Hale had called Ela an absolute blessing to tennis, but what he may not have realized was that the blessing was mutual. Ela had brought an extraordinary wave of energy and joy to his tournament, while the tournament had given her community something priceless in return, recognition. But the gesture didn't end with adobo. Once the Filipino community had a taste of home, they wanted more, and the National Bank Open listened again. On Sunday, August 9, 2026, the day of Ela's match against Belinda Bencic, organizers introduced another Filipino favorite, pork lumpia. "This thing is going to be legendary," Ashtad Datanji, executive chef of the NBO who helped curate the new offering, said in a tournament social media post. But this wasn't an ordinary spring roll. The chefs paired the lumpia with a signature spiced vinegar, then added crunchy fried garlic, peanuts, cilantro, and a drizzle of banana ketchup, creating an inventive combination that blended nostalgia with modern culinary creativity. It was more than a new menu item. It was a taste of home served inside one of tennis's biggest tournaments, a courtside flavor designed to connect with the same emotion and pride that had been echoing through the stands. The food concessionaire, the changeover kitchen, prepared only 200 servings of the lumpia for a limited time run, priced at $12 Canadian, while the chicken adobo continued to be served at a special price of $17 Canadian. But this was about much more than food, it was a message. At this point, it's not just a taste of home, but an ode to the amazing, hardworking, happy community that fills Toronto with such a vibe, Chef Ash said in an Instagram post. "The screams, the roars, the singing, the music, the energy that we see is absolutely amazing. With more than 200,000 Filipinos living in the city, their voices, passion, and appetites were shaping the tournament experience in real time. Just as Eala's matches were drawing sellout crowds, the menu itself was evolving to reflect the culture of the people filling the seats. By the end of the tournament, Eala's Filipino supporters had helped reshape the food experience at one of tennis's premier events, with chicken adobo, pork lumpia, and other Filipino favorites becoming symbols of recognition. These weren't simply dishes on a menu, they represented a community that had long felt overlooked in the world of tennis finally being seen and celebrated. Tournament director Carl Hale, who had already described the Filipino wave as an absolute blessing, watched the transformation with amazement. "It's the first time I've ever heard of a tournament halfway through the tournament add a food offering just because of a player," Hale told Tennis Channel. He also revealed that tournament officials estimated approximately 80% of ticket requests were tied directly to Eala's appearance. Not the tournament as a whole, not the other top-ranked players, but one player accounting for roughly 80% of the demand. The decision to add adobo and lumpia wasn't simply about pleasing fans. It was about recognition. It was the tournament saying, "We see you. We appreciate you. You belong here." And for a community that had spent years feeling invisible within the sport of tennis, that message meant everything. Toronto wasn't just hosting a tennis tournament anymore. It was hosting a celebration of Filipino culture, turning the National Bank Open into a showcase of not only world-class tennis but also Filipino pride, flavor, music, and energy. Then came the match. Bensic defeated Eala 6-4, 6-0, bringing Eala's remarkable run to an end, but what happened afterward may have been even more powerful. The crowd refused to leave. More than 10,000 Filipino fans who had packed Sobeys Stadium didn't rush toward the exits. They stayed, they cheered, and they applauded their hero one final time. Even Bensic, the Swiss veteran who had just delivered a dominant performance, acknowledged the extraordinary atmosphere. "I know most of you guys were cheering for Alex, but I still have to say it was very nice to play in front of you all. Thank you so much for the great crowd tonight," she said during her post-match interview. The packed crowd, gracious even in defeat, responded by showering Bensic with cheers after the match. The gesture was remarkable. These were thousands of fans who had come to Toronto hoping to watch their hero win, but when their hero lost, they didn't rush for the exits. Instead, they stayed to applaud the victor, showing the world what true sportsmanship and genuine community look like. Eala, visibly overwhelmed by the love, waved to the crowd and blew kisses back toward the stands. She had given everything she had, 7 consecutive victories, an ankle injury scare, and a maiden WTA title just days earlier. The fatigue was visible, the emotion was raw, but the tears that followed weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of gratitude. Dien Castillo, a veteran Filipino journalist covering the tournament, described the atmosphere as a super wild Filipino crowd, calling it the loudest she had ever experienced. It felt like it was in the Philippines. Incredible. And now that same crowd was showing the world what Filipino hospitality truly meant, even in defeat. One fan who had been among the thousands inside the stadium captured the feeling perfectly, saying, "I can't believe in those 3 days in a row you made, and sold out the stadium. I'm amazed." The amazement was now mixed with gratitude. The show was over, but the memories would last far beyond the final point. These fans hadn't simply come to watch tennis. They had come to celebrate their community, their culture, and their hero. Even as Eala walked away from center court with her Toronto campaign officially over, the roar of the crowd followed her, because that roar was never just about winning, it was about belonging. Alex Eala had given the Filipino community something priceless. A reason to come together, a reason to be proud, and a reason to believe. The scoreboard told one story. Bensic won 6-4, 6-0, ending Eala's career-best 7-match winning streak after 73 minutes of tennis. But when Eala sat down for her post-match press conference, she didn't dwell on the defeat. She didn't make excuses, and she didn't blame the fatigue that had accumulated over nearly 2 grueling weeks. Instead, she did something far more revealing. She counted her blessings. "It's always tough, of course, after a loss," Eala admitted, her voice carrying the weight of exhaustion and disappointment. But like I said, I'm looking back at these past 2 weeks as a really big positive. I think I've played really well. I've gotten through so many obstacles. And those obstacles were very real: 8 matches in roughly 12 days, a maiden WTA title in Washington just days before arriving in Toronto, an injury scare, relentless travel, and the enormous pressure that came with carrying the hopes of an entire community. An ankle injury scare against Katie McNally had nearly ended her run, and after so many matches in such a short period, the accumulated mileage was finally beginning to show. Bencic exploited that fatigue ruthlessly. Belinda put me in some really tough situations. I think she played really well. I wasn't able to kind of get myself out of a certain mode, Eala admitted. But then came the words that revealed her true character. I mean, I'm healthy, which is something I'm super grateful for. It's something that's obviously on the top of my priority all the time. So, yeah, I'm counting my blessings. I'm taking the lessons that I've had from these 2 weeks and hopefully implementing them even more in a better way in Cincinnati and New York. I'm counting my blessings. Those 4 words spoke volumes. Here was a 21-year-old who had just suffered a straight sets defeat in a major WTA event, yet instead of focusing on disappointment, she was choosing gratitude. Her next challenges were already waiting. The Cincinnati Open, another WTA 1000 event, was scheduled to begin on August 15th, followed by the US Open in New York, where Eala would return to the same city where she captured the Junior Grand Slam title in 2022. But before all of that, she knew she needed to rest. I definitely will take maybe 2 days off, a day or 2. I do have to travel to Cincinnati. I need to get a haircut. I haven't gotten a haircut in a while. My nails are grown out, Eala said with a chuckle during her post-match press conference. I'll do a couple things just to get my mind off tennis. I think Toronto's a great place to do that. That laughter revealed something powerful. Despite the defeat, despite the exhaustion, Eala was still smiling, still grateful, and still looking ahead. The Canadian Open had become much more than another tournament on her schedule. It had become an experience she knew she would never forget. The atmosphere this whole week has been just incredible, Eala said, her voice filled with emotion. It's hard to describe to other people the feeling of being in that stadium full of the fans and all the love. I'm super grateful for the experiences that I've had here in Toronto. It's been an amazing debut. I'll carry these memories with me for a really long time. She also reflected on what made the week so special: the Filipino community that had transformed the tournament into a celebration of identity, culture, and pride. I think you can see I am kind of just like a drop in the ocean, when it comes to Filipinos and their pride for their culture and where they come from, Eala shared. I do a lot to kind of represent my country, and I'm very proud of it. But you see, the stadium was full of people who do the same thing, right? I guess that just shows you what kind of a community we are and what kind of a people we are and how supportive we are of each other. In the end, Eala hadn't just left Toronto with victories, records, and memories. She had left behind something far more meaningful: a reminder that one athlete can bring an entire community together and make them feel seen on one of the biggest stages in tennis. The Filipina star refused to take all the credit. Instead, she pointed toward the passion, pride, and unity of the community that had supported her every step of the way. She also praised Toronto itself. I learned that they're very passionate. They're very kind. I learned that it's very multicultural. It's nice to see tennis be a medium for them to come together and kind of celebrate the things they love. Her loss to Bencic was bittersweet. It brought an end to a historic run that had captured the hearts of millions, but it also revealed something deeper about Eala: her remarkable ability to find gratitude in defeat, to count her blessings when others might only count their losses. And as she packed her bags for Cincinnati, she knew the journey was far from over. Overall, really good week. I am super happy with the run that I've had. I'm going to try to recover and come back out hot. But what did Carl Hale's emotional gesture truly mean? Why did adding chicken adobo and pork lumpia to a tournament food court move so many fans? Because it was never really about the food. It was about recognition. It was about validation. It was about a moment when a community that had often felt invisible within the world of tennis was finally being seen. Carl Hale, the tournament director who had witnessed Eala mania firsthand, put it simply, "Alex is an absolute blessing to the sport of tennis and our tournament." But the gesture went far beyond those words. When organizers added Filipino chicken adobo to the menu in the middle of the tournament, Hale admitted, "It's the first time I've ever heard of a tournament halfway through the tournament add a food offering just because of a player." Then came the pork lumpia, served with spiced vinegar and topped with chicharon, garlic chips, peanuts, cilantro, and a drizzle of banana ketchup. Chef Ashtad Datanji described it as an ode to the amazing, hardworking, and joyful community that fills Toronto with such energy. The screams, the roars, the singing, the music, the energy that we see is absolutely amazing, he said. Even Coco Gauff, the world number 4, recognized the significance of what was happening. "I think the demographic that Alex is bringing to the sport of tennis is so great, and I think all of us should embrace that," Gauff said. "To see a nation of people who maybe don't always feel represented in this sport really see themselves out there, I think is incredibly inspiring." Venus Williams' doubles partner also praised Eala, calling her a world star and saying, "She's just incredible, and besides the fact of her tennis, she's an incredible person, well-spoken, and just an impressive young lady." And Eala herself understood what the week meant to her community. You can see I am kind of just like a drop in the ocean, when it comes to Filipinos and their pride for their culture and where they come from," she reflected. The stadium, she explained, was filled with people who were doing the same thing, representing their country, celebrating their culture, and supporting one another. "I guess that just shows you what kind of a community we are and what kind of people we are and how supportive we are of each other." Carl Hale had called Eala an absolute blessing. But what he may not have realized was that the blessing was mutual. Eala had brought an incredible wave of energy, passion, and joy to his tournament, while the tournament had given her community something priceless in return: recognition, representation, and a place at the table. "It's nice to see tennis be a medium for them to come together and kind of celebrate the things they love," Eala said. And perhaps that is what made Toronto so unforgettable. The food wasn't just food.